When do we see the Octavia RS come back?
For that, you're taking away my thunder right now.
Ashish, welcome to Turbocharged.
Thank you.
Always nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah.
And I see you're off to quite the start at Škoda. Your first month itself, things were looking very good. So, your thoughts on that?
I think, so definitely had to hit the ground running. So it's like getting into an operation theater or a surgery while the heart is running. And you have to make sure that the heart keeps on running and performing. So but exciting times, and that's the way it should be. So you have to make sure that you're up to the game.
Right. So, Ashish, what are your immediate priorities for Škoda? Let's say if you were to list the top three.
I think the first thing is that with us getting into this mass segment now with the sub 4 meter, we need to more sharply define our strategy. We need to be very clear on what our strategy pillars are, which also I shared with you yesterday that the three strategy pillars we have agreed or we want to work on is relevance, differentiation, and trust. And this strategy, once very clearly defined, you have to stick to it and be consistent over a period of time. So that's the first thing that I think is a priority for me. Second thing is to get the dealer network up and running. The dealer network is up, but it still needs a little bit of a push to start running. Because we have added 60 or 70 outlets in the last 6 months. So it takes a little bit of time for them to get efficient, to learn the tricks of the trade, to get the manpower on board, the manpower up to speed. So that's I think the second priority for us. And third is, of course, have a future orientation. We can always get lost in operational things and what we need to do today, but you definitely need to have a view of the future as well.
And 25 years is a very, very long time span, especially in a highly competitive market like India. So, what do you think have been the biggest pillars of support for Škoda, to be here and sustain?
No, I think what has actually helped Škoda, build a legacy in India has been the initial products that were brought into the country that have established. In fact, they were among the first premium cars to be introduced into India. So that is what Škoda, I think, helps Škoda establish Škoda as a brand with European values, European engineering, but also providing a lot of value for its products. So that's a legacy which has continued and is helping us right now as well.
And you're now heading what is the lead brand for Volkswagen Group. And now looking back at maybe, let's say, the last 5 years, including the pandemic, how do you think things have progressed for the brand, for the group overall?
I think the group is doing pretty well. With the India 2.0 strategy, a lot was invested into India in terms of resources, whether it is the factory capacity, whether it is the dealer network, whether it is in terms of products. So those investments have definitely helped the group maintain relevance as a group in the country. Because as you know, the structure of the market is such that outside the top 6, the rest of the brands, including our group brands, have to always fight to stay relevant. So I think with our group strength, with the 5 or 6 brands that we have in the group, we have been able to maintain that relevance. Although we may be, as a group number 6 or 7 in the industry in terms of volumes, but if you put all our group together, I think in terms of revenue, we are among the top 4 or 5.
And what's your plan on the after-sales service front? Because in the past, this was a bit of a weak link for Škoda in India. And of course, things have improved big time, but there's still some sort of remnants from those memories.
So, facts are easier to correct. Perceptions take more long time to change. That's what we are working on. It does not mean that we do not have to still address some of the factual issues that exist in our network. I think the biggest challenge of cost of ownership we have addressed to a large extent. Today, the service of a Kylaq is hardly 5,000 or 6,000 rupees for a service in a year. If you look at it, our first year Supercare package we have introduced this year, which basically makes your service, including parts for the first year, free. Our warranties range from 3 to 5 years. So in terms of peace of mind, a lot has been done, and that is not a question mark in any way. I think the bigger thing that we need to correct or infuse into our network is a quality consciousness. And again, with network ramping up to this extent, that is one big priority for me to address, so that customers still get the best quality of service that we can give.
And at Volkswagen, you were bullish about growing the used car business. Now, what's the plan here at Škoda?
So similar. I think it's no rocket science again. pre-owned cars are a big enabler for new car sales because that is the first entry point for first-time buyers. People cannot afford a new car every time, and growth in India is coming from tier 2, tier 3 towns and so-called rural areas. Yeah, so that is the first entry point for customers into the four-wheeler segment. And we would like them to give them an opportunity to experience the Škoda brand as a first-time buyer, even if they cannot afford a Škoda car at this time, new car at this point of time. But an experience of the brand can be provided through the pre-owned car, and that is something which we are working as building up as a stronger pillar.
Okay. And on the same note now, do you think having a compact SUV like the Kylaq, which is clearly a volumes product, do you think that gives you an edge in the market over traditional rivals for Škoda, including Volkswagen?
Edge in terms of volumes and what you see on the charts, yes. But it's a hyper competitive segment as well. The rules of the game are very different than what we are used to. Because in the bigger segments, in the A0 SUV and in the Slavia segment, we had established ourselves. So we are now a new entrant into this hyper competitive market, and we have to yet establish ourselves. Right. Yeah. So yes, in terms of volumes on the charts, as I said, you might see us taking the lead. But yes, it's hard work.
I can imagine. Yeah. And now let's jump to the other end of the spectrum with the new Kodiaq. So, there's an elevated sense of premiumness with the product. So, how's the market perception been and how's the Kodiaq?
The reception has been fantastic. In the first 1 month itself, we had almost 500 bookings within the first 15 days. We've already delivered within the first month almost 250 cars. This month also the traction seems to be very good. So, very well accepted product. Kodiaq has a fan following of its own. In the premium SUV space, I don't think there is anything better outside it. Yeah. So, if you want really European engineering at a price point with all luxury boxes ticked off, I think there's nothing better available in the market than the Kodiaq.
Great. And now, lastly, something very obvious. When do we see the Octavia RS come back?
No, for that, you're taking away my thunder right now. Yeah. So I have to meet you again.
Okay.
To celebrate 5 years of Turbocharged. That is Absolutely. When I will reveal the timeline to you.
Great. I look forward to that, Ashish.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Amit.
Thank you.
Thank you.